All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner, Giants Nation. Want to do a film breakdown on Jaxson Dart's game against the Bears. It's been a while since we did an individual breakdown, or at least a public one, on Jaxson Dart. Was planning on doing this like in the third quarter because he was having such a good game. He then gets injured, so hey, we're not going to see him for a while. Let's review this film. So really good stuff. There's some negative in here. We're going to go through 20, I think, of the most consequential plays. There's a couple plays I left out that I put in our Patreon film review where it's more of protection breakdown, so it's not Jaxson Dart's fault, good or bad. So like and subscribe. We're going to go through these plays. Some really good ball. The second quarter, man, was just filled with money throws for him. So let's get into it. Again, please like and subscribe. Number one spot for all New York Giants content. You got film, reaction, analysis, and maybe we'll make you laugh every once in a while. So first play, we're going to throw this ball up here to Theo Johnson on this out route. And some of this stuff I'm going to be talking about scheme, and obviously Brian Dable's gone, so it's, not 100% the same scheme, but you're going to see similar things. So this is levels for them. Now, what Brian Dable and Mike Kafka have done is they give their receivers options in this. So, right, you're going to have Slayton break in, you're going to have Theo break out. But we're going to talk about that. That's because of the leverage. Like, he has a two-way option here, and even Wandale has this outside leverage. He has the option to break in, right? So it's not all, like when you draw up levels, it would look like this, right? You would have your outside receiver clearing, right, or some type of alert out there, and then depending on how you want to do it, it'd be here, right? And it's a one, it's a peer progression, right? 1, 2, 3 type of read. So let's go through it. Good read, good timing, great placement. Theo Johnson uses his size. Right. So when Theo Johnson has this outside leverage on number 35, right, who's covering him, he knows, Jaxson Dart knows, and we get this versus man coverage like it is, right? Man, 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 man. We're throwing this ball to Theo Johnson versus outbreaking leverage. He could still get this ball to Wandale or Slayton too, but that's who he's looking for, right? When you get that pre-snap outside leverage or inside leverage from the DB, that's where we want to go. Bam, money throw, puts it on him, easy. Right? They send, this cover one blitz. Great throw. Next play is actually a we got a few bad plays in there. This is 4th and 2, and I think I might know what might have spooked him on this, but it's still not good. So one, I will say this on 4th and 2, one of my biggest pet peeves is this. It is on a do or die play and taking the field and going like this. And we've just cut so much of the options off. So if having basically one option plays, right? Wandale Robinson is the only option on this play, right? We got nobody really running routes. Slayton is simply creating space for this, right? He's just trying to create space for Wandale to rake out here. You can get to the backside dig on this, but that's really not an option. Right, so I already don't like this play call, but it should have worked, right? Sometimes you don't like the process, but the results should be there. It works exactly how they try and get it, right? So they motion Wandale. The Bears, just like the Giants, when they have these motions against man coverage, against a slot player, what they'll do is instead of having this player chase, he will assume the post safety while this post safety comes and gets into man coverage. And you've got yourself a natural rub right here. Just throw this ball right now to Wandale, put it out there. Slayton has done a good job keeping this, creating this traffic here for the outside corner and then the safety who's assuming the man coverage. And I believe Dart just gets spooked by this linebacker working into the flat. But the reality is you just got to pull the trigger on this. Right now, like this ball should be out right now. Put it out here. This linebacker is not in the way. He looks to create and gets a sack. I know some, when I posted this live, there was a thought of like, oh, he didn't throw it because Jermaine Illuminor is downfield. I don't know why Illuminor got downfield. I understand that they're trying to leave the defensive end free and he's trying to get to this linebacker, but still, that's not why he was doing it, right? He sees his eyes now, but you got to get this ball to Wan'Dale Robinson. Next play is the back shoulder one-handed catch by Darius Slayton. This is one of those like feeling it type of throws, because you're running a sail concept like we just saw, right? So the sail, we've got Slayton on the. Gosh, sometimes I really suck at these lines. Slayton on the vertical. We got Theo here, and then Singletary up into the flat. And you get it versus man coverage, right? So we're manned here, man here on the tight end, man on the back, and then man on these back sides here, and then you got this post safety. So when you get this versus man coverage, this is a 1-2-3 read here, right? You have, high to low, 1, 2, 3, right? And when you get it versus man coverage, if you trust this out route, the sail by Theo Johnson, like you could hit this ball to Theo Johnson, right? If this ball, like if he doesn't complete this ball, the coaching point would be on Monday, not by Brian Dable anymore. Like get this ball to Theo on time. He's got the leverage. Like he creates that leverage against the safety, Jaquan Brisker. Give it to him. But we're feeling it. And we give a back shoulder throw to Darius Slayton. You obviously would like to pull it in a little bit more so he doesn't have to make that one-handed grab. But I never hate the heat check throw on these plays. It just, number one, you complete them like this. Again, would like to put this ball right here instead of here. But at the end of the day, he catches it, so we're happy with the results. I never dislike this throw against this because so often teams will cheat to cover this, right? They'll have this outside corner drop off. They'll have a flat defender in zone sag off and cover it. So just make them cover this, and then that opens it up, the sail down the road, right? So I'll never be mad at that. Here, I love this play design. This is something the Giants have done here and there. Something that Jaxson Dart hadn't really done at all was run under center play action very well. One, they don't have an under center run game, so teams don't respect it. Like even look at it right here. Watch these linebackers. These linebackers really respecting that, right? They're already in split safety. Right? I know this safety's rolling down, but they're not really respecting it, and so now they're in cover 3. But Dart also has just not seen this very well, right? That's just been, if there's one thing that I think has been a consistent flaw up until this week was the under center play action. He just didn't see it very well. So this is a concept off of a concept where the original concept is this Yankee, where you have Darius Slayton on this deep post, and then you would have Wan'Dale on this over crossing route. And we'll kind of talk through it against cover 3, which the Bears are in. Right, so they're in cover 3. Right, we've got your underneath defenders here in a line. We've got this Tyreek Stevenson playing a deep third. We got our post safety and this player playing a deep third. But against this concept, they will have this player, instead of him playing a deep third and covering nobody, he'll turn this into man coverage here and chase this crosser. And then there's 2 ways that this deep safety can play it, right? He can trigger down and take the crosser away, or he plays the deep middle and that you stop them from throwing the post. But here's how they like to play it both ways, right? To play it against this concept, because let's just talk about it. I know I'm doing a lot of explaining right now and a lot of lines. Is if the deep safety plays the deep post like he is, and then this corner follows the deep post, well, guess what's wide open? This crosser. So what they'll do is they'll have Tyreek Stevenson and this safety pass this off, right? They'll pass the deep post off to the safety. Tyreek Stevenson's going to come off and try and take away the crosser because you have all this space. And the Giants know that they're going to do that. So instead of having Slayton run this post, guess what they're going to do? Put your foot in the ground, break it out, and that's how you get left wide open on this, right? Ball is already out, right? Ball, just great job, great timing by Dart. He sees it. He knows what they're playing. Bam, puts it out there. Satan's got to wait for it a little bit, but he's wide open, so you don't want to overthrow it or, have him, in full stride trying to make a play. So it's just good play design, good read, good throw, good catch by Darius Slayton. You get yourself an explosive. And then you get down towards the goal line, and we're going to run fake gun toss, QB counter, and we're going to get it in for 6, which I know there's a lot of talks about running him. I like it. We'll go quickly. We don't need to do a full breakdown on like run scheme, but fake toss, and it's an unbalanced line. So you have Andrew Thomas over here, right? So we've got 3 offensive linemen to the right of the center and then 2 tight ends to the left. So we got the fake toss part of it, right? That keeps these backside defensive ends from chasing. We're going to run counter. So we're here to linebacker. Guard's going to kick out the defensive end, Montez Sweat. Bellinger wrapping through. All right, and they able to keep all their gaps. Thomas or Illuminor isn't able to hold this block, so you have Theo Johnson working through. He covers that. Thomas does a great job getting to Kevin Byard, the safety. Touchdown, Jaxson Dart. This next play is my favorite, right? One, it's against a pressure look, a disguised look, and it's getting to the backside dig. Another thing that I wasn't even asking Jaxson Dart to start doing, but I was asking the Giants to start putting this on his plate because teams were kind of playing towards their front side concepts, and there really wasn't much of a backside option for Jaxson Dart, which was leading to him having to scramble and play make a lot, which is good, but like you want to add more options for Dart. So this is a 3rd and 6 too, and the Giants are like they're going to keep 6 in protection, right? And they've got 7 guys on the line, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 6 versus 7 protection versus rushers. So they could be sending a blitz. They're probably going to back out, and guess what? They're going to back out, and they're going to back out into cover 2, which Dennis Allen likes to run. So the concept for the Giants is going to be a high-low on the front side. So you're going to have Theo on this flag corner, Wandale on this choice underneath. They're going to put Bellinger on this drive, and then you're going to have Slayton, like we said before, on this backside dig. All right, so the read for Dart is, it's you're reading one thing, but it's essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I don't think this is being read as a pure progression. Maybe it is, but like that's essentially the read regardless. And then they're going to back out into cover 2. But again, it's disguise, right? You would not think pre-snap, even though you know that they like to back out in the cover 2, that this single safety is going to turn into a too high coverage, right? So let's go through it. That's exactly what they do, right? Post-snap, this safety backs out. Let's freeze it. That's cover 2, right? 1, 2. We've got our underneath here. And so a good job by Dart just diagnosing this. So we're going to look at the high-low here with Theo and Wandale. Not there. The high is not there. This squat corner is covering that. It's 3rd and 7. You could fire this into Wandale. Teams are looking for that against Wandale now, and they'll fire down and close that out, and you get 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. You're just not going for it at the opposite 20. So I don't hate that. And then, well, they've got the underneath covered, but when they have this underneath covered, this linebacker's not getting depth. Get to the backside with pressure in your face. This is what I've been asking for, right? Put this stuff on Dart's menu, and they put it on, and he was able to do it, dude. Like, so I love this, right? High-low, it's not there. We looked at Bellinger. This linebacker is playing more shallow. All right, if he's playing shallow, we've got pressure in our face. Our right guard is getting driven back. Our running back doesn't help much. He leaves out because they're only rushing 4. Money right over his hand. Slayton pulls in the catch. Money, money, money. That's probably my favorite play of the day because you got to process. You got to go through. You get to your last progression, make it. Here, just another good play design for the Giants. Fairly confident that the Bears are in man coverage here. Because one, look at the corner alignment. This certainly seems like man coverage. So we're manned here. And then, man, and then these two are basically manning up on these players depending on which sides they go to. So again, we talked about that Yankee concept before, right? With the deep post and then the over. Well, this time what they're going to do is instead of Wandale having the over and having this corner covering it and let me slow down. So we know they're in man coverage. They've got these 2 safeties, right? So they're in 2-man. So if you ran this concept, guess what's going to happen, right? So you're going to have these 2 in man coverage, right? But we could beat guys in man coverage. You're going to have this safety, though, carrying the post, and this safety is going to trigger and take away the crosser. So you don't really have any options besides a check down or a scramble. What we're going to do with Wandale is, right, we're going to sell that we're working this over, and then, bam, pop out, transition into the out. This is a great route. Great transition by Wandale. Good throw by Dart. Good stuff. All right. I know it doesn't look like man coverage based on these players, but you got to think that these 2 tight ends are staying into block. So they're going to drop back and try and take away some windows, which would definitely take away that crosser. But again, this outside corner is, trying to cover that at man coverage. He's sold out. Bam. Nice transition. Dart put it on him. Money. Get a first down, right? Keep it rolling. Keep that under center game working. And when you start doing stuff like this and adding layers to this, then you get back to running the regular concept and you're able to get that deep post over the middle or get that nice, easy crosser because teams have to play it a little more honestly. Next play, again, getting to the backside dig. I love this. Play action, boot left, sail with a backside dig versus man coverage. He doesn't like any of his options front side. So let's go quick through this. All right, we've got the Gunnar Olszewski on a vertical versus man coverage. Please never, ever take that. Daniel Bellinger and man coverage on the out. You might want that, but booting left, I don't like it. Theo into the underneath, right? It's a 1, 2, 3. We'll see. We don't like any of those options. Guess what option we're going to like, though, right? Number 4, which is going to be Wandale versus this off man into a dig. And it's a great job by Dart to reset, fire it in, get it, right? Do we like any of these options? Sure as hell don't like this one, right? I know there's no help over the top, but that's Gunnar Olszewski. Let's not take that, right? It's the right play call versus the right thing, too, right? They work this cross dog linebacker blitz, right? So they're in man coverage with no safety help. It's essentially cover 0. Right? We don't like any of these options, but we do like this dig versus this soft man. Again, you get the right play call versus the right thing, cover 0, so you don't have that blitz affecting you. Boot left. You've got to rush, reset. Right? We got Austin Booker raining down. And I just love this little subtle throw just to keep Booker from really raining down on him. Reset our feet and get it down the line. I mean, right on Wandale. Love it. I love it, bro. That's some big boy football there. And then we get this 25-yard run that has a penalty on it. It's QB bash. This is something the Giants have run for quite a while. They really started doing a bit in 2023, bringing it back. It's kind of simple, right? We've got, it's almost like a zone read QB counter, But you have the running back working out here, which keeps these two players honest here. And then we're going to get into counter. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to pull the guard, wrap the tackle around. Right, defensive ends, 35, playing upfield. Booker does a good job of reading what it is, but so you're not handing that to the back. Pretty simple. Illuminor blocking down on 50. Runyon kicking out the linebacker. Thomas working up through. Fine 98. Great job. There's one thing to keep Gunner on the field over Jalen Hyatt is to make blocks like that. And keep it going. Keep it going. Bellinger, don't block in the back, baby. Don't block in the back. So because of that, it gets called back. They get a 3rd and 4. They get a 3-yard run, 4th and 1. And could have been like another touchdown pass. It ends up being a turnover on downs. Money throw. And Greg Olson did a good job pointing this out. The Giants have run this play. They actually ran it for like 3 touchdowns, I think, or 2, maybe 2 against the Bears in 2022. It turned into runs. But let's just watch it again and see what Bellinger does, right? Pretend he's going to block, work out. Man coverage on this boot. So what Bellinger needs to do on this is you want to seal this linebacker, right? You want to like block down on him and then break out into your route because this is your man coverage player here, right? So let's talk about it. Like if you seal him down and don't allow him to chase, right? Let's say this linebacker is still here. Well, now it becomes very easy for Jaxson Dart, right? Where he doesn't need to make this dime of a throw that he ends up making. Because what happens is if you seal this linebacker, right? Well, now Dart doesn't have this in his face. Dart can either rush to the corner, and it simply does this safety try and block you? If not, we run. Or tackle you, cover you, run. If it's not, we throw easy, wide open touchdown. I remember the Giants ran this with Tanner Hudson against the Bears and Jaquan Brisker the same. Jaquan Brisker was actually the defensive end that was falling for it. Or, not defensive end, but like the end player who was crashing down. But the linebacker Sewell plays this really well. And so Dart is left to make this throw, and it's a money throw. And Bellinger's just not able to secure it. I mean, that's money right there, right? Pull that in, big boy. And Bellinger's got great hands. Just not able to complete the catch. Pops out and ends up being a turnover on downs. Now we get in the 2-minute drill. So we have a 3rd and 3, 57 seconds left. You see Dart create and get this nice throw to Theo Johnson, right? And the Bears in these 2-minute drills, what do they want to do? Right? We saw them do it versus Russ at the end of the game. We're going to put all these guys on the line of the scrimmage, right? We're just going to make things confusing. We're not going to give you any type of idea of what we're doing post-snap. So, but again, when you see this look, usually you're thinking one of 2 things. One, they are going to send all of them and have a cover 0 blitz, and they'll just have man-to-man across the board, right? Man, and then man for the back. Or they're going to back out into some type of zone coverage. Nope, the Bears, what they're going to do is they're going to back out into a basic cover 1 man coverage, right? We see man. You get your deep safety, you got your hole defender, basic man coverage. And the Giants are running their wave concept, which is you have this post, and then it's like 2 deep crossers. So here and here. And then with this receiver, you can do anything. For this was choice. But remember, this is 3rd and 3, right? So like you just want to get a first down here. But again, Dart isn't sure what this is post-snap. So right now, he's thinking, all right, some type of zone coverage. Let me just get Wandale on this choice route. But it ends up being man coverage. Right? And Wandale reads it wrong, right? Wandale believes that these 2 players are bracketing him, right? So this player is going to work to the outside, this player working the inside, when in reality is on this choice that Wandale should be breaking in or out, right? Depending on leverage. But that's not there. So Dart looks to pull the trigger. He sits. That's not what I want, right? So let's see what we've got next. Right, this play is meant to beat like zone coverages and find the hole in the zone here with a where McLeod on this instance, but he's got pressure, right? We've got our guard getting beat inside, our tackles giving up a little bit of pressure around the corner. All right, well, guess where we know where our help is going to be? Let's scramble to the right, and we know we're going to have Theo Johnson over here and deliver just a money throw. Again, he's thinking Wandale here. He sat. That's not what I was looking for. I was looking for him to break it out. All right. Right. Montez Sweat is beating Greg Van Roten. Tracy, not our right tackle, is giving up pressure around the corner. When you look to make a play, I've got Theo and just a money throw. You come back, right there. They got everybody on the line. This time, we're going to run 4 verts versus their cover 2. Bam. And again, another money throw to Theo Johnson. So again, we've talked about all these guys on the line of scrimmage. What are they going to back out into? Well, they're going to back out into cover 2. So, right, so we're going to have him play a deep half. This player is going to play a deep half. We're going to push this player into the flat. This player is going to squat and play the flat, and then we'll have these guys, drop back into their zone coverages. So we're just going to run 4 verts versus that. All right, so we're going to, vertical, 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 vertical. You guys know what 4 verts looks like. All right, so again, you've essentially got these 2 players, this outside receiver being bracketed. Tyreek Stevenson's playing the deep half. He sees the seam. You've got this over here. The way that this safety's playing it is bracketed. Let's hit Theo Johnson. Right? This linebacker is not in a good position because he's got to come and bail, and Edmonds does a good job on this for what it is. But Dart already knows. Pre-snap, if they back out into a zone, I'm hitting Theo on the seam, and he doesn't just hit him. He hits him with a perfect placement on this. That is perfect placement. Just not over here, not hitting the back of the head of Edmonds, which he does the next play that we're not going to go through. Next play, they run 4 verts again, hits the back of the linebacker. Now, that's all good. We avoid disaster because these next 2 plays, this play in particular, really could have been a disaster here. So this first one, I kind of hate this play call. Right? And then Dart ends up going and throwing. And thankful for Gunnar Olszewski playing safety on this. So I don't like this play call. What it's basically trying to do is we're going to have this player hitch, this player hitch, this player hitch, right? And so when 3 guys, like you're thinking it's all curls, and what you do is you have this player work through the back, and you're just trying to get like players to trigger whatever coverage they're in, trying to get them to trigger down, and then just hit Wandale across the back of the line. Right? Like, so we want to hit on, and we're not throwing this, right? Wandale sees the way that this safety and this star defender here play it. That's not where we're going. Hits the backside of it, not there. All right, let's go make a play. Like that, right? Like the idea, let's go make a play because nothing is an option here, right? We're not throwing this. We're not throwing this. We're not throwing this. Not throwing this. Not throwing this. So go make a play. Love it. Right? Safety works down. Right, so we're not going to get, we could scramble, but again, that's probably the right decision here, but we're being chased from behind by Austin Booker, who's a really good athlete. And misses the throw, right? I think if you're doing this and Gunnar Olszewski is seeing this, where you want to throw this is right here, but I just wouldn't want to throw this to Gunnar Olszewski anyways. And we throw that to the inside, and that's almost disaster. Like, thank God that Gunnar Olszewski breaks that pass up because that would have – these are the types of plays that ruin good momentum, you end up getting 3 points here, but you just can't have those types of plays. Those are the plays where you just, throw it out of the back of the end zone, run, get your yards. I forgot what the timeout situation was. And then here, this is making the right decision. You just got to get it out of the back of the end zone, right? Sorry, this is not making the right decision. Once you don't have it, this is 4 verts, and they're going to be in cover 4, right? So we're going to have our vertical, breaking in, vertical here, and then Theo. So Theo is where you want to go to. All right, Theo's breaking this in. They're going to be in cover 4. All right, so that means that this player is going to have this. This player has this zone. This player has this zone. This player has this zone. And then we're going to be working out here. We're going to be pushing wide out here. And then we've got middle of the field. And Tracy is going to work up and out, which is going to pull this linebacker in. We got to fit it into this window. So let me see if I could keep the lines up while I play this. See how good my lines were. But not bad. You've essentially got a little high-low here with this player. Bang this into Theo Johnson, right? You have all this. Let me get rid of the lines now. Right? This is what you're looking for on this with Tyrone Tracy working out here. This linebacker does not carry it, right? He sees Theo Johnson. The other linebacker, Sewell, he takes it too. You got bang this in there right there. That's 6 points right there. I know he can make that throw. I know they talked about this on film on Monday. Bang that in there, and that's might be 6. But he doesn't see it, and he looks to throw away. You just got to throw that ball out of the back of the end zone. But, this is what we're looking for. Just bang it in there. Bang it in there. He doesn't. He's got the pressure. Ends up throwing it away. Like I said, not the worst thing in the world to throw it away. Just make sure you get that ball at the back of the end zone so it doesn't get intercepted. And next play, we get our 24-yard QB bash touchdown. All right, don't need to break down run scheme a ton, but just, good run, good play design. Again, right, we've got this fake that holds 93. Right, so you hold 93 for the offensive line. We're comboing from here to here. Greg Van Roten's going to kick out 91, but because 91 squeezes this, he's actually going to wrap around on this, which is going to pull Illuminor to wrap around on 49. Right? He spills inside, so we wrap around it, which means now instead of Illuminor going inside of the right guard who's supposed to kick out, we're now going to work outside. Edmonds kind of plays this pretty terribly. We work off of that. Good block being held here by Daniel Bellinger. Right? And then this just little subtle, let's pull Jaquan Brisker, who's one of the dumber safeties in the NFL. Let's pull him inside and then cut off of it. Touchdown. Celebrate with the fans. Next play, 4th and 1. Again, I hate these I hate 4th down one option plays. His only option on this play is to run. And it's a good, I'm not to say it's not a good design, but there's no option, right? And we get the offset back. And it's a good pull by Greg Van Roten. But I don't love it, right? Greg Van Roten, good job cutting 93. Great job. What happens if this 93 does a really good job against this, and now we're left to go out there and tackle Thorpe. But hey, he gets the first down. Not going to complain with results. Here, this is, again, no one's going to remember this play, but this is really easy, smart football. So, again, they're disguising what they're doing, right? You would think, all right, they're in some type of zone coverage. If they are in man, you would think 35's here, Bellinger, linebacker here. But they're going to run this this cross dog blitz. All right, so we're going to work here and then here. They're gonna blitz, and it's going to be a 6-man rush. And that, in turn, is going to pit man coverage here. This safety playing from depth is going to be man coverage here. Man, and then middle of the field. Now, these linebackers, while they are blitzing, if Singletary were to work out here, well, he would not blitz. He would take it into man coverage. If Singletary worked behind Jaxson Dart or just straight across, well, then he would turn this into man coverage. But because Singletary steps up like he's into protection, right, with this play action, like you pull these linebackers up, like the concept is like one of their favorites, right? It's for the Giants. We got the post, wheel, and then the tight end with the over, right? And you get it versus man coverage. I understand Gunner like does a decent job on this. I'm just not really looking there if I'm Dart. And these two are, basically bracket, like just like I said before, based on where Theo goes, like he's going to turn this into man coverage. He would now turn into the safety. But when these linebackers get caught up in this traffic, Dart quickly realizes, oh, Singletary just not being covered. Nice pop pass. Let me just get some free yards. Right? He sees what the linebackers are doing. The linebackers aren't out there. Oh, well, the linebackers are in man coverage. The two safeties are covering Theo Johnson. Easy. Right? Just some free yards. I love that. And then this last play we'll go to. I like Dart's process on this. I think there's a more perfect decision. But again, they're playing for this. They got the same concept just out of a different formation where you got Singletary on the post. And it's funny to say these names, right? You got Singletary on the post, Bellinger on the wheel, and then Gunner on the out route. And again, they're going to be in man coverage, right? So we're man coverage. I'm just not taking Singletary versus the post. I'm not taking their corner on Bellinger on the wheel. You could take this to Gunner, but, I don't love it. And on the backside, you have an inverted wrap concept, which is Slayton's going to come and have a choice to sit here, and then Theo Johnson's going to be on the dig. The way it's inverted is usually the true way to run a wrap concept is to put the choice on the inside, and then the dig would be, that's where the name comes from, wrapping around. I think you should get to Theo on the dig, but I do like just the thought process for Dart, right? He sees this against man coverage. I'm just not taking any of these opportunities. I'm not taking any of these options for man coverage. Let me get to the backside of this, right? I would much rather take Theo Johnson or Darius Slayton in a man coverage matchup. So getting to the backside. That's the part I really like, getting to the backside of this. What I wish he did a little more perfect decision is not rush this. As this is, I think, a 2nd and 10. This is the play before he gets injured. We're not going to go through the injury play. Like, gets us into Slayton, right? Fine play. I just wish against man coverage, you've got this hole defender. Keep a little more patience and just get Theo Johnson on the dig. That's the only thing. But I like the thought process from Dart. So, again, I thought this was a really good game, right? Playing some real deal football, not just backyard football. A little backyard football mixed into it. But awesome stuff. Hopefully we get him back because he has, in a Giants season that has been just like other Giants seasons, he's been a difference and been a joy to watch. So like and subscribe if you guys like film content. Obviously, we're doing a lot of it. So appreciate you guys, and let's go Big Blue.